Hi, welcome to the morning table, where everyone has a seat at our table. Welcome back to the morning table, where everyone has a seat at our table. Cheers. Good morning. I hope you have your coffee, your tea, your water, your soda. If you're drinking soda this morning, I might be judging you just a little bit. I know the Mormon wives do it, but we've seen those. So, anyways, cheers. Good morning. Howdy. And you're probably thinking, how the fuck did we even get here? And who the fuck are you? And fair point, fair question. Fair question there, Susan. Let me tell you who I am. I am Malia Hutchinson. I am 29 years old. I am from North Carolina. I moved to New York City for grad school 4 years ago and changed everything about my life. Crazy. Crazy. Some might call it a Saturn return, some might call it a quarter life crisis. I call it growth. But I do want to tell you how the fuck we got here because it's been a journey to get from the small town girl that was a yes man and showed up for people even when she wasn't showing up for herself, who made decisions based off of other people's thoughts, processes, opinions, and never truly lived. Which is crazy because if you look at my life when I was living in North Carolina, you would say you weren't living, and I was living. I was living large. But I was also 22. I had no worries in the world. Of course, I was traveling the world. Of course, I was doing this, that, and the other. But I was doing so many of those things, going out, bopping from city to city, which I love to do. So maybe that's not a good example, but I was doing a lot of things I was doing because it was the expectation of me. It was the expectation that I would be certain places, I would do certain things, and I never really had a say in the matter. To be quite frank, I didn't even really have a say in going to grad school. I feel like I could talk about that forever, but I don't want to bore you because not everybody went to grad school, so I understand. But how the fuck did we get here? It's a great question. I moved to New York City, like I said, 4 years ago for grad school, and I went to grad school, and I remember being in it. I just said I don't want to talk about grad school, and yet here I am. But we got to start from the beginning, okay? I went to Hunter College here in New York City. And I remember being in grad school and thinking, this shit is fucking hard. Really fucking hard. And I don't like it. And I can do hard things, okay? I can do hard things. I've done a lot of hard things in my life. But grad school was different. I remember, when you start classes and you would sit around and your professors would be like, okay, tell your name, where you're from, and what you want to do after grad school or why you're here. And my answer would always be, I want to make fucking money. I want to help people, I want to connect with people, and I want to make my fucking money. I wouldn't say that necessarily, but like in some variations I would, or I would make something up to make myself look good because everybody else had these long answers like I want to work with elderlies and hospice, and I really want to work with underprivileged youth, which I do too, underprivileged youth, and I want to, fulfill them and do blah. And I was like, damn, y'all making me look bad. I just want to make money. I remember being asked by my peers, like, what kind of job, like, my last semester. So, like, what kind of jobs are you applying for? And I'd be like, the ones that are over 60,000. Like, you think I care what I do? No, I just want to make money. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? So, anyhowsers, I remember being in grad school and thinking this shit is really fucking hard, and it was hard in a way that I didn't want to do it. And I remember getting through my first year and going into my second year first semester, and I had hit my breaking point. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I was losing weight rapidly. I had a couple of classmates ask me, oh my gosh, Malia, you look so good. Like, what's your workout routine? And I'd be like, anxiety. Literally just anxiety. And I can remember like it was yesterday have being on the phone with my mom. I was standing in the lobby of my school right outside the library, and I was on the verge of having a mental breakdown. And I remember being on the phone with her, and she could tell something was wrong. She was like, what's going on? And I was trying not to cry, kind of like I am right now. And I just remember saying, like, I can't do this anymore. I want to drop out. And I like kind of threw a laugh at the end and was like, I just want to drop out. Ha 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 ha. And she said to me, you're almost done. Like, you've already taken out the loans. You're almost done. Just power through. And I was thinking to myself of the money, the dollar amount. I could see the dollar amount in my head now, and I could see it then on how much debt I was already in. And I thought, she's right. And once I get out of school, I will be making enough money. I will be paying that off. Like, it'll all be worth it. It wasn't. It wasn't worth it. Finished grad school, half-assed it. I mean, let's be so for real. I was not doing well. Thank God for pass fail. I did it because I was told to. I would have dropped out of school that day if I wasn't on the phone with my mom. I was at my wits' end. I was missing class like it was nobody's fucking business. My internships, oh my god, it's a miracle that they wrote me raving reviews. I mean, what the fuck were they thinking? I was the worst intern ever. I was the worst student because I did not want to be there. I truly didn't. I didn't want to be in school. I didn't want to be at my internships. I didn't want to be a fucking social worker. So, how the fuck did we get here? Grad school. I moved to New York 4 years ago. I went to grad school. I was so fucking close to dropping out, yet my mom told me not to because of the dollar amount of debt that I was in. So I stuck it out, got the job because that's what I was supposed to do. That's what I was told I had to do. And I worked it for 8 months. And I said, I'm more depressed now than I was in grad school, and I'm making money. I was spending money in grad school, and now I'm making money and I want to find the closest bridge. So I left. Get to the point of how the fuck did we get here? We have to touch on that and bring it full circle of being the disgruntled intern and grad student and friend and daughter, because that's who I was. I didn't look in the mirror and see myself. I looked in the mirror and saw flesh and skin. And it wasn't until I decided in February of 2025 that that wasn't a good enough life for me. And I remember of January of 2016 when I made that same decision of it not being a good enough life for me, being in community college, going after a degree that I didn't even want, but yet again was told that I should do. And so I remember calling my mom then in 2016 and saying, hey, I'm dropping out and I'm going to Bible college. Yeah. And I did what I wanted to do, and I felt so fulfilled. Not that I would ever go back to Bible college because I could talk about that forever, but I just remember thinking, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I was good at it. I showed up. I was fulfilled. I learned about myself and about the world. And then I left it, and I did what everybody else wanted me to do, and I went and got my social work degree, which then led me into my master's, which led me here. So, how the fuck did I get here? That's how. Because I stopped choosing myself. I stopped showing up for myself and picking who I am and what I want out of life and did it again. And went where I was told and showed up for who I was supposed to be. And 10 years later, I decided again, I don't want to be who everybody else is fucking telling me to be. I want to be who I want to be. So, how the fuck did we get here? This is how. Choosing my fucking self. Choose yourself. Stop choosing who everybody else is telling you to be. I've had this exact conversation with myself. I've had this conversation with friends. I had this conversation with my best friend, I mean, a million times over, reminding her and also myself through telling her just because it doesn't make sense to anybody else doesn't mean it doesn't make sense to you. I fell victim of telling her who to be, and I have apologized since. Like, it worked for me, I thought it's gotta work for her, but life isn't a one size shoe fits all, you know? And so just because you're seeing your peers or people online or your parents or your aunts or your cousins, just because you're seeing other people doing things doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You don't want to look back and think, I'm hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for a degree that other people wanted me to hold. Smile through the pain. I mean, truly smile through the pain, because I could have been doing this for the last 10 years, and this is what makes me feel fulfilled. I went to Bible college because I wanted to learn how to speak and write and share and create spaces where others feel invited. And maybe, yes, it was around the Bible. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying it's a thing. Yet, when I left Bible college, everybody told me, well, you can do all of those things with a secular degree of social work. And I did learn so many of those things in social work. But after Bible college, I had a dream of running a nonprofit that together underprivileged youth and created a space where they would feel fulfilled, where they would learn and grow and gain life skills that they might not learn within their own home unit. And again, not to say that that's a bad thing, it's just a thing of the truth. Like, that's my truth. I didn't learn a lot about being an adult within my family unit because nobody in my family unit knew how to be an adult. So I had to learn from others or learn by failing. And so when I left Bible college, that was my goal and that was my want. And I had others tell me, go to social work school because you will learn all of those things in social work school, and that will give you a degree to fall back on and to build you up and to prepare you for doing such things. So, again, I got into grad school, I went to social work school, I got my bachelor's and my master's, and we all know I was depressed. Where's the closest bridge? I'm looking for her. I want her. I need to jump off of her. So if I would have just trusted myself, loved myself enough, felt confident enough in myself and in my calling, because we all know our own calling. We don't have ideas and dreams and intuitions about something that we don't already possess. I believe that, and I know that's woo woo. But they do say, and I believe it, woo woo or not, that if you have an instinctual feeling about something, you already own it in your future self. And I believe that I own certain things in my future self already. Present me just has to get there. And I've been letting other people try and dictate and deter me from what I know to be my truth, which is that I will have a business, a nonprofit, whatever shape or form it runs in, that will uplift underprivileged youth. I will have a space where I can employ them and I can uplift them and I can show them and teach them life skills such as financial literacy and job training and resume building and applying for colleges if they want to do that, or going to trade school if they want to do that, giving them skills such as cooking and cleaning and budgeting, financial literacy. Those are things that you need as an adult, and yet some of us within our home units, we're just in survival mode. It is literally just wake up and get through the day so that you can lay your head down again and do it all over. So I've known this to be my truth, that I will have this space. Yet I allowed other people to dictate my future and tell me where to go and who to be and how to show up. And so in February of 2025, when I decided to choose myself and quit my 9 to 5 without having a backup plan, I chose the future that I already know that I'm going to possess. And yet, again, in the last year, I have over and over and over and over again allowed other people to tell me how to be, how to show up, and what to do. Not directly, but by fear. And because I'm so fucking fearful of failing or letting other people see me try, that's embarrassing. To just do what other people are doing. Just because something has been a certain way doesn't mean it has to stay that way. I understand, don't reinvent the wheel. However, just because other people are doing short form TikTok interviews doesn't mean you have to fucking do that, Malia. Because why would you do that? Is that on brand for you? No. Talking in circles for 45 minutes is on brand for you. So what the fuck are you doing? Is literally what I had to say to myself, because I was doing what everybody else was doing because it worked for them, it'll work for me. Shut the fuck up. Be so fucking for real. I mean, like, seriously, instead of February 2025 being my get out of it, I just let it be another cycle of me doing and being who everybody else is telling me to be. When I would explain to people what I'm doing, I would take their feedback, I would take their ideas and their guidance as Bible. And these are people that have not done this before. So why would I listen to them? Like, why would I listen to them? It was last September. I remember I was going through a friend breakup and Mercury was in retrograde, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure it was. And I had lost, oh my gosh, probably 15 pounds. I was severely depressed. And I just remember kind of one day looking in the mirror and thinking, you're truly not a human. Like, who are you? You're going through all of the motions. I was doing these coffee chats and I felt so unfulfilled. I was telling myself and telling other people I felt fulfilled in doing them, but I wasn't. I would record them and I would never edit them because I hated it. I hated going back and editing them because it wasn't what I wanted. I would have to take a 25 to an hour, 25-minute to an hour conversation and cut it down to 3 minutes? Be so fucking for real. What was I doing? That is not who I wanted to be. I never wanted to rush my true, authentic conversations with other people, yet that's what I was doing. And so a lot of things were happening, and I remember looking up in the mirror and thinking, you're not a human. So I got off of social media for a month in October, and I did check-ins with myself. It was really fun. Did like long forum style check-ins. And at the end of the month, I thought, I know who I am. This is it. I'm going to be and do what I want to do. Shocker, I didn't. I went straight back into doing what everybody else wanted me to do. Or to be quite honest, I wasn't really doing much at that point because I just didn't know what to do. I was too fearful in choosing myself and doing what I thought was, or what I know to be right. And to go against the grain that was truly the most I mean, like couldn't even think about it. I could not even think about doing something different from what I was doing. So I just wasn't doing anything. And then I really felt unfulfilled. I mean, imagine somebody asking me, "Oh, Malia, what are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Oh, so like I left my 9 to 5 without a backup plan. I was doing this and like blah blah. It was great. But like now I'm not doing anything. I just work as a barista." Embarrassing. Embarrassing. And so I pulled myself up from my bootstraps a couple of weeks ago, and thought, why are you so scared? Why are you so scared? I've heard it again and again. Cringe is a victimless crime. Being fearful only benefits other people, and yet I was allowing it to benefit other people at my expense. Nah, that ain't happening anymore. So I really did decide, this is my life. I get one life. Other people's opinions do not get to dictate who I am and what I want to do in this life. So I've been doing me. But what I know to be true about my life and about my future is that I will create, and I am creating, a space to empower other people and to give them tools and knowledge to create a life for themselves. I think that's something that I held really true to in social work school, was that I'm a white woman. I don't know all the answers. I can't save you. You also don't want me to save you, and you don't need me to save you. And so that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to save you and to tell you what to do, but I'm here to give you tools to empower you and to build you up so that you then can make an informed decision. You then can build the life that you want and you know to be true for yourself. Because nobody's going to build a life for me. So I have to create my own life with my own tools and knowledge. And I want to then empower others to do the same. Does that make sense? Sometimes I say things and I'm like, are you making sense, Malia, or are you just talking in circles? It's hard to say sometimes. I'll leave you with this of, you are strong enough in yourself to build the life that you want. Other people are going to keep you small and to tell you what to do and how to be because it's worked for them, but that does not mean that it has to work for you or that it even will work for you. I hope you have the best week ever. And also, remember, you are worthy of good things. Anything you want in this life is already yours. You just have to make decisions to get you there. You have to make decisions, not other people have to make decisions for you. And as always, you can find me on Substack. I have weekly journaling prompts that are coupled with a newsletter that have what I'm watching, what I'm wearing, what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, my favorite things, some deep thoughts, some personal stories. And you can also find me on TikTok and Instagram. I just share nonsense, but I love you so much, and I hope you have the best week ever. Bye.